Tune in to me. You're watching The Dribble by Gully TV. It's the second day of Ramadan. I just want to get on here and share some positivity, some words, bring some words to the cipher. Listen, I made an observation over the weekend. If you follow this channel, you know I was over in the islands and shit. And I was surfing. I enjoy surfing. I'm not good at it. I actually never even rode a surf. I kept falling down. But I had a great time, and everything that's associated with the activity of surfing, the cardiovascular, the endorphins, the dopamine, I experienced it. Anyway, I really enjoy surfing. That's not just internet verbiage, but check it out. While I was surfing, I looked around and I took note of course, I was only, maybe one of like 3 black guys that was out there, surfing or whatever. And it dawned on me the next day when I was hiking that I enjoyed this shit. I was really enjoying myself. And because I'm an athlete at heart. That's who I am. I'm before anything. Before I wanted some pussy, before I wanted some money, athlete, 100%. And I said to myself, had I not gotten into the streets, I probably could have been a surfer. And it made me think about the environment that we come from, the environment that a lot of us boast and brag about. We often speak of being from the streets. Just like a month or so ago, there was a big conversation online about, people saying, fuck the streets and all of that type of shit. And this is another reason why it's motherfuck the streets. The streets rob you of your potential or who you could have been. You know what I'm saying? And you only get a chance to think about it in retrospect. I'm explaining to you how the streets rob you of who you could have been. They rob you of your potential. Like I said, I really enjoy surfing. And I thought about it and shit. And it became, apparent to me that your environment shapes who you become. Your environment shapes the person that you become, 100%. And a lot of us grew up aspiring to be basketball players or street hustlers. The generation before me, a lot of them probably aspired to be pimps, being as though, the movie Superfly was out. And that's what, before the huge drug kingpin became a thing in the black communities, the pimps was the guys that was really, really stunting and flossing and shit like that. Anyway, your environment shapes the person that you become. A lot of us wanted to be basketball players because that's all we saw. A lot of us wanted to be hustlers because that's all we saw. In the black community, that's those things are things that were, glorified, but very, very popular, without a doubt. And I said to myself, damn, had I grown up in an environment where there was a bunch of skateboarders and shit like that, maybe I would have wanted to be Tony Hawk. Or had I grown up near the Pacific Ocean where a lot of people was surfing and shit like that, maybe me, a black guy, would have grew up wanting to be a surfer, right? And in totality, what I'm trying to say is, don't allow your environment to overpower, influence, and shape the person that you're becoming. This is one of the reasons that we need to get the fuck out the hood. Because the things that we're exposed to, even education, it's like this. It's very, very meager, man. Like, seriously. And as long as the hood and the streets is promoted through music, through television, the infatuation, the fascination with the streets probably will continue. And we're gonna continue to get these types of finished products injected into the world, into the community. Again, especially in terms of children. Children mimic what they see. Seriously, children mimic what they see. And if you got a child that's going in a different direction, don't feel that your child is weird. You know what I'm saying? You can have a unique child. You got a child that's a leader, that's in their own lane, and that's a good thing and shit. It's a lot of follow the leader shit, you know. It's been said that it's hard to stand out in the crowd. I believe that. It's hard to be an individual, depending on the environment that you come up in. This is the truth. But it just stood out to me, and it was on my mind the whole weekend, that your environment 100% shapes the person you become. Had I grew up amongst a bunch of clothing designers, if I came out my crib and there was a bunch of niggas designing clothes, that's probably what I would have been attracted to. And it's actually kind of fucked up that it got to the point where people actually said it in music. All us blacks got is sports and entertainment, was said by Jay-Z. Biggie Smalls said, either you slang crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot. Those two options became a thing amongst young black boys because that's all we were exposed to. That's all we was exposed to. And I'm like, damn, man, like, I really, really like surfing going forward. I'm probably going to continue to do that. That's probably going to become something that I'm into. I'm serious. I'm not joking. I had a really good time doing that shit. And I'm like, damn, man. I'm looking around at the beach, looking at all the bad bitches with their ass out and shit. And I'm like, I spent most of my life, basically all of my teens, all my 20s, and all my 30s, especially if I wasn't locked up, I spent it in the hood. And I spent it in the hood, man. And I even think about the chicks that, you know, was popular, or the chicks that I was big on. Had I just crossed over into a different life, it was going to be girls equally dynamic, equally beautiful. Like the joints I seen on the beach. I'm like, damn, I would have never encountered this bitch in the hood, nowhere. She's not even a hood chick. Don't nothing about this girl say hood. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, we be accepting limited options, limited opportunities, shit, even a limited existence by this death sentence that we actually glorify, called the hood. You got niggas fighting over hoods and shit, fighting over the ghettos, fighting over the slums and shit. That's crazy as fuck if you think about it. There's actually a better world, a better life outside the hood, man. For real. It makes me think about think back to the time that I spent in college. This is some of the best times of my life. And we wasn't doing no hood shit. We was doing group projects and shit like that, and, you know, doing positive shit, you know what I mean? And it was fun. I still think about it all the time. And had I not went to college briefly, I wouldn't even experience that. My whole life would have been nothing but the block, incarceration, and death. That's fucked up. Even thinking about it now that I gave all my life to that shit. You know what I'm saying? When in all reality, there was a world out there with palm trees, blue water, white sand, and surfboards. That's crazy. I just wanted to share that with everybody that's following my platform. Fuck the hood, man. Fuck the streets, and fuck all of the opportunities. That one-way street to jails, institution, and death. Fuck all of that shit that's promoted by the streets. For real. If you got a kid around you, make sure that you give him the options and shit, man, because he can become the next Tony Hawk. He can become the next Stevie Williams and shit like that. He can become the next Lance Armstrong. You know what I mean? Richard Williams, Venus and Serena father, he exposed them to something different. something that wasn't popular in the black community, and look what happened. They ended up being legends, you know what I mean, champions and shit. They made history, all because they was exposed to something different. They could have easily turned into, you know, hood rats, or been somewhere twerking and doing all of the ratchet shit that you see associated with black women today. Even though I believe Venus and Serena, they probably didn't shake their little ass and shit. But anyway, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get the notifications, and more original content coming soon. Peace.